Yvonne here. Welcome to my craft room. I'm an independent Canadian demonstrator for Stampin' Up. I'm so glad you found me on YouTube. And if this is your first time, make sure you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that way, by subscribing and hitting the bell below, you'll get notified every time I have a new video. So let's get started. Today, I'm going to make this Pansy Fun Fold card. And let me just adjust my table here so we can see this better. Here's several that I've made already. So I've got the tie on the right hand side because it's a little narrow. It'll fit in your envelope perfectly. So you untie it, and this cute little flap inside, and then you open it up. And there's your room for your message. So let's get cracking. And don't worry, I'll have all of this information, the product name and numbers and everything down below. So let's get started here. You're going to need an 8.5 by a 5.5, scored at 3 3/8 and 6 3/4. One DSP 3 by 5 1/4, one cardstock, and this green is Evening Evergreen, and I'm using soft succulent, 3 by 5 1/4, and one white 3 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then for this inside little card, you're going to need the two basic white 2.5 by 2 3/8. And you're going to need a DSP 2 3/8 by 2 1/4, and the same, you need 2 of those. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and you'll need these strips here as well. You'll need 2 1" by 5 1/4 and one DSP 3/4 inch by 3 inches. And then I'll show you cutting out the pansies. So let's get started. Bring in my cutter. You can see this. And check your paper. Remember that this is 8 inch, not 8.5, okay? Because if you don't cut off that 1/2 inch, you'll get all messed up. So I'm cutting it off at 8 inches. And I'm going to score at 6 3/4. And 3 3/8. So that's 1 2 3/8. Okay. This is your card base. And this little guy gets tucked in here. So there's your basic of your card. If it has a little wow in it, just make sure you run it nice and flat with your bone folder. There we go. Okay. So for the front of the card, and I'm just going to lay this here so you can sort of see it as well while we're doing this. And I love using Tombow. You can use a snail. Oh, they don't call it snail anymore. Sorry, Stampin' Seal. And when you line this up to your left, you'll notice it's a little bit bigger gap there on your right hand side, but that's okay. Can you see that? And I want to give credit to Lauren Urbanos, I believe is her pronunciation, and Patty Bennett for this. There are demonstrators that have also shown how to do this. Okay, so on this side, this front piece, same thing. So remember which side you're putting it on, right? Because this closes like this. And I love this Pansy Designer Series paper. You gotta check it out. And we'll take this and I'll just hold this flap down so I can make sure that I'm nice and straight and lined up with this piece here, okay? Okay. Now on the inside, if you'll notice, I like to get rid of all these extra pieces so I don't lose them. Get these put in right now. And take some more Tombow. Put this over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Keep it to the left. Okay. And then on the strip as well over here on the inside. I mean, you don't have to do this. I just think it looks great kind of finish to have the colors. I love the layering on these cards. I think it just makes it special. Okay. Move that out of the way. Okay, so now I think I've got, yeah. Okay, let's do some stamping before I get too carried away here. Okay, so on this piece, this is for your inside sentiment. And this is for your sentiment here. Okay, so I'm going to use Evening Evergreen. I'm just going to take this strip here and just hold it here so I know where that's going to go. And I'm going to use, I'll just get this piece of scrap paper. I like to check and make sure I don't have any fuzzies on my stamp before I stamp it. So I'm going to put this down here. And I just want to, okay. And then the happy birthday. I love this Evening Evergreen ink. It's just beautiful. And we can do this like so. Okay. Now for the inside sentiment of this one, make sure, because this is a little different in size. It's not square, okay? So it's 2.5 by 2 3/8. So make sure your 2 3/8 side is going before you stamp it, just so you don't make a boo-boo. And there we go. That was pretty easy, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, if I have to do, especially sometimes you're just like, oh, if I have to do all this stamping, I don't know. And you chicken out and don't do it. This is a great card because I think the stamping's pretty easy and it looks great. You're really maximizing use of the Designer Series paper on this card. It looks so pretty. Okay, and you can center this one like so. And then I'll put, I can feel some sticky on there. I hope I didn't get some glue on something. On the bottom of that. Okay. Let's make sure I don't have glue on my fingers. Okay, so we're getting there, right? So now we're going to take this little guy And this was a 3 inches by 5 1/4 scored in half. And so now when you're putting this on the card, you're doing it this way. So remember what your, so when you put your sentiment in, it's going to go on this side. A little different than normal, right? And we'll just pop that in like so. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, we're getting there. Now, I'm going to put this here. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to do the ribbon magic. So, you don't, before you assemble these layers, you're going to put this on here and then your ribbon, okay? So this is how I did this, kind of cheated. Actually, I used some Stampin' Seal Plus for this. I just sort of lined this where I wanted it. Oh, come on, you little fellow. There, just hold it down so I know where I'm going. Just as a guide, I'm gonna put this on here. Okay, and then I just brought it in from the edge, just a tad. Okay. Oh, I didn't check. I make sure I didn't have it on upside down. Good deal. Okay. So now let's cut out some pansies before we get any further. I got to move all these little Post-it notes. I'm getting confused here. Okay, so if you've done this, you should have 3 pieces left. Okay, now on the pansies, this is from this great designer series paper. You get sheets like this of the big pansies, okay? So on the front of this card, I've cut out one of these, a little yellow one. That's this little guy here. And we'll do this little purple one for the inside, and that is this little guy here. So, gee, you can get a lot. I've cut out a whole bunch of others, and I've just put it in my stamp case set, so I don't have to do this every time. So I'll bring in my awesome little mini boss for these. Okay. And where did my second plate go? Here we are. Okay, so all you do is take the paper with the die set and a little bit of, I'll do this first. Okay, this is how I do this. Put your plate, line up your die on your pansy, and then just put a little piece of washi tape there, okay? Easy peasy. Sorry for the wiggly table. I haven't been able to find a table with good sturdy strong legs that'll fit the spot that I've got to put the table. I'm searching. Okay, so, and I did the same thing with the leaves. We need 3 leaves, and I've taken that off the same one of these sheets here. So you've got a gazillion leaves, right? And your dies, you've got 2 dies that cut out the different shapes and colors. So this, I've done the same thing. I've cut out 2, and I cut out, there's another one. And we'll do the same thing. I've got it already taped up, ready to go. And we'll just run that one through. I love this little mini. I can't wait till we are able to have workshops again, because That's just going to be a great little guy to take with me. Okay. So let's put this together. If you take a look at the front here. Okay, so on one of these pieces, and you got to make sure you're going rectangular way. And this is a great spot for dimensionals. I'm going to put this pansy on dimensionals. Okay. And I'm going to put them about there. Okay, and I'll do the same with the little yellow pansy. Put him about the same spot. Okay, so on this piece, last piece of white, I could have mounted this first, you know, onto the white first before I start putting my dimensionals on. Actually, I would recommend that. It's a little easier, so you're not risking mussing it up, putting it on, and having to redo your pansies. Okay, so now we just need to put in the pansy leaves, and I'm going to put one about there, and let's see, put one. You know what, I didn't leave much room on my dimensionals. See if I can, I put my dimensionals out too far. Ah, I lucked out. Okay, and I'm going to put this guy about there. Then I can push this down, and then this one down like so. Oh, I can put it overlap it a bit. Okay. Okay, so now on this piece, let's do our ribbon. And I'm using the Evening Evergreen 3/4 inch, I think it is. Or sorry, 3/8 of an inch. And I'm using a 14, 15, about 17 inches, okay? And it wants to fray, so this is one of those ribbons where I would not cut it on a diagonal, if you can see that. Okay. Okay, so on this one, because I want to tie it on this side, I'm going to set up my ribbon like so. Okay. And I'm just going to take and put some Stampin' Seal Plus there. Good, that will hold that. And now I can put this on. Isn't that cool? And you thought, how the heck did you do that? Well, I'm going to use Stampin' Seal on this one. Oops, got it caught a bit there. Instead of Tombow, just because I don't want it to slide around while I'm... This is serious stick on, okay? Make sure you go to everything straight there. Pull this ribbon tight. Okay. And there you go. Now, and to add some fun to it, I love these Bumblebee Trinkets. Take a glue dot. And I don't think I left enough room at the bottom, so I might put this little fellow up at the top somewhere. They're so cute. Whoops, slipped on me. Oh, look here. Take your handy dandy, take your pick tool. And I just wanna, there we go. Okay. And we'll finish and we'll put this little inside. Okay, did I forget anything? Let's double check. There you go, there's your inside. And there you go. I mean, you could add more, you know what I mean? Like, go for it, do whatever grabs you. If you don't have the Bumblebee trinket, try something else. But if you don't have these little guys, you should get them because they're adorable. So versatile. So now I'm just tying a bow, and I'm hoping I can do this while the camera's running. Oh dear. Okay. There you go. Okay. Now that is a really interesting card. I just love that. I think that's really a fun card. So there you go. So you untie it, wishing you a little extra happiness because you're you, and a happy birthday, love you much. Isn't that adorable? Okay, and so I used the stamp set Pansy patch. Here's the sentiments. And the dies, the pansy dies as well. Okay, so all of the information down below. And I hope you enjoyed this project. Please try it. Like I said, if you've never subscribed to my video channel before, make sure that you do subscribe. Also, if you like this project, please give me a thumbs up and your comments or questions. I do read each and every one. If you do live in Canada and do not have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and you can order online for these products at yvonne.stampinup.net. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for visiting my craft room. Bye for now.